All right, good evening. We're going to go ahead and call this meeting to order. It is 5 o'clock, February 18th, Wednesday. We're going to start the Land Use and Zoning Committee, and we will start with introductions to the left.
Councilman Reginald Gaffney Jr., District 8.
Good evening. Rory Diamond, District 13, The Beaches.
Joe Carlucci, District 5.
Raul Ayres, District 11.
Randy White, District 12.
Dylan Reingold, Office of General Counsel.
Susan Kelly, Planning Department.
Aaron Abney, Planning Department.
Casey Cox, Planning Department.
All right. And I believe Councilmember Freeman is not going to be here today. Is that right? Okay. So Councilmember Freeman is not going to be here. Is Councilmember Johnson coming? We don't have anything in the inbox, so we will go ahead and get started with item number 1. And we'll go ahead. 2025-630 is open the public hearing. No speaker cards. We'll continue this public hearing until 3/3/26. Item number 2, 2025-724 is deferred. Item number 3, 2026-0006. This item is going to have a public hearing, but it is deferred, and I know that there are some speakers here, and I just wanted to kind of let everyone know where I think this is going to go prior to hearing your comments. So my understanding, I got an email from the applicant who requested the deferral, and I believe he said that they are going to be making some changes to their application. So generally when that's the case, that means it's going to be potentially more favorable to the neighborhood. They want to work more with the neighborhood. So ideally what we like to do is hear the comments in public hearing, post those changes. So after those changes, that's when we truly want to hear the public hearing and the comments, because that's what's going to help us make the decision on what the application actually is. So all that to say, we're more than happy to go through the public hearing cards, but what we really are going to take into account is those comments after those changes have been made. So just for whatever it's worth. So with that, I don't know, Mr. Phillips, did you want to come up and start us off? I don't know that we have a card for you, but, oh, wait, here it is. Yeah, did we open the public hearing. Come on down. Do we want to do the staff report and everything, or can we just, okay, go ahead, Mr. Phillips, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Hayden Phillips, 1301 River Place Boulevard. Everything you just stated is accurate due to feedback we've received recently. We did request the deferral. Thank you for accommodating it. We are going to make some changes to the proposal and look forward to bringing those to you all and to the community. Thank you. Happy to answer any questions.
Okay. With that, we have 4 or 5 speaker cards here. So first up, Shelley Cheney. Next, Lawrence Cheney.
Hello. I live at 6515 Seaboard Avenue. I'm about a half a mile from where they're wanting to put this subdivision. I know that, I don't know everything about the process, but I've been there for 23 years. This particular intersection has multiple severe car accidents without this subdivision here. That's one of my main concerns is the traffic. I know that's not really a big deal in the grand scheme of everything, but I hope that y'all will do your due diligence to check on that, because adding this will cause more problems with that. The 30 feet, which obviously there's going to be some changes, that seemed to be quite a lot. And also, I emailed everybody today with my petitions, but the other issue is there's 2 other subdivisions being built in this general area, and it's just a lot. It's a lot. I'm on an acre lot, and that's why we built there, because we like the space, we like the room, we don't like being on top of everybody. So I just hope that will be considered also. Those 2 addresses are on 118th Street, and I think they're both like 20-acre lots. And I think they've already been approved for 40 to 50 feet building. I'm not sure of all the specifics, but that's just all I wanted to say. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And next we have Lawrence Cheney. Just make sure you come down and state your name and address.
How y'all doing? Good afternoon. Thank y'all for having us.
Name and address.
Forgive me if I'm not proper because I am not a public speaker. I'm a builder myself.
Can you start with your name and address?
Lawrence Cheney, 6515 Seaboard Avenue.
All right. Good.
I very much oppose this zoning change to 30 feet. To me, that's just beyond comprehension. And I know during a Zoom call, they said there is no country left in Jacksonville, or Jacksonville is not country, it's city. Well, that's our little piece of heaven, or our little piece of country that's left, and we want it left alone. There's multiple subdivisions and acres, land grabs, I call it, from developers all around us, and it's too much for a family that's put their heart and soul into this area. I've grew up one block from Morris Avenue since 1977. My parents moved over there for one reason: residential rural, because it was a rural part of Jacksonville when we were kids, and that's where we left. Actually, East 18th Street. Used to live down in Springfield, and my mom and dad brought us over to the west side and to that open rural country feel, because she knew they had 5 kids and she wanted to raise us in more of the country feel. So I've known that area my whole life. That's all I've known. And 24 years ago, like my wife just said, we built our own home, quarter mile from Morris Avenue down on Seaboard. And I bought an acre lot. It's residential rural, 1 acre per house. That's what we wanted. That's where we built. I put my heart and soul into that place. I didn't have a builder build it. I am a builder. I wasn't at the time, but I've been in construction since 16 years old. And I ain't opposed to somebody building. I mean, I would be a hypocrite if I didn't want them to build. What I don't want is them to change the zoning. When it's RR acre, it should stay RR acre. Every time I've ever went to the building department or the zoning department, I had to build and adhere to the zoning rules. You know, any property I ever developed or did on my own, it was what the zoning said, what the zoning was. I didn't have a chance to change it, you know, which I'm not a big developer like they are, but I just think taking it down to 30 foot, you're talking about 3-foot side yards between homes, and that's from wall to wall. So the roof overhang is going to have 3 feet between them. I mean, to me, that's almost like a fire code issue. Fire could jump from one house to the other. I just don't see it working at 30 feet. Does that mean I'm done?
Yes, sir.
Timed out?
Yes, sir.
I'm used to getting the short end of the stick. Have a good day.
All right. Next, we have Barbara Black, followed by Samantha Series, and then Darlene Renfro. Do you wish to speak, Ms. Black? Does not wish to speak. She is in opposition. And next, we have Samantha Series, and this is on the land use.
Samantha Series, address on file. I have been in contact with this community, and they did ask me to help them with this process, so that's why I'm here with them today. I just wanted to make sure that Mr. Phillips and the developer does speak to the community. They can speak to me, myself, and I'll represent the community for them. But I think that the conversation needs to be facilitated. They can't just pick whatever they want to do to change the application without talking to the community, because obviously there's a lot of community opposition, and I emailed you all about it, and I won't speak on the next one because I know this is the amendment to the LDR to MDR, but we want to make sure that the community is actually taken care of and they are included in this conversation. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And last card, and then I'll go to Councilmember Diamond. Darlene Renfro, but she does not wish to speak, and she is in opposition. Councilmember Diamond, you're recognized.
Yeah, through the chair, I just, some of the stuff I heard at the podium, I think it's always important just to remind folks that there are Florida bar rules about representing people, and it's always important to keep those things in mind when you're out there saying you represent people in legal matters. Thanks.
All right, Councilmember Arias, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chair. The other part that I just want to add to it is the fact that the representative for that district is Councilmember Johnson. So I'm pretty sure that Mr. Hayden Phillips has already communicated with him, and he will still communicate with Councilmember Johnson, which by default is your spokesperson for the community, which will also work with you guys to make sure that you guys have the most information possible. This is, like I said, this is being deferred, so there's a lot of conversations still being had, but I know for a fact that you guys have had a Zoom meeting and multiple conversations. So just know that I'm pretty sure he's not here right now, but I know that he does his best to do right by the community. So I have a confidence that Councilman Johnson will be representing you guys as well too, working with the applicant, because ultimately that's what we as elected officials are here to do. We are your community service representative. Simple as that. So whatever you need, get with your council member. Thank you.
All right. And I'll add 2 cents real quick with kind of something Councilmember Diamond actually brought up at the last council meeting with some of these some of these projects that are getting opposition. You know, you kind of commented on like the process needs to change, and one of those things that I've identified with some of our planning department is having a single person kind of be the community. I don't want to say liaison, but advocate. Certainly if there's rules with Florida Bar and everything, you want to kind of look at that. But I would just say that does add value, and that does make a helpful step, other than kind of what we saw a few weeks ago with 30 people saying 30 different things, and it's hard for us to communicate to 30 different people. It's hard for the applicant to communicate to 30 different people. So from a general standpoint, that is a good thing. And I'll be working a little bit further with maybe kind of a looser process of how to, make it more streamlined in the events where there is some opposition. So someone's standing right next to me. Hold on one second. Yep. Okay, so with that, Councilmember Johnson is, I believe, almost here and wants to meet with all of the community members in the green room if you'd like. At that point, what we would do is we would just go to the next item, which is the zoning. It's going to be deferred, but if y'all don't wish to speak on that, because I think we have the same speaker cards. What's that, Mr. Reingold?
Do you want to continue this item and defer it before you move on to the next one?
Number 3, we're just going to have a deferral on that.
Yeah, but we're going to want to continue the public hearing.
Correct. Continue the public hearing until when?
I believe it's 3/3 will be our next meeting.
All right. So we're going to continue this public hearing until 3/3. Item number 4, 2026-0007. We are going to defer this item with the continue. We're going to open the public hearing. All the speaker cards are in the green room, and we're going to continue this public hearing until 3/3/26. Item number 5, 2026-0008. Open the public hearing. No speakers? Is anyone here for 008? Okay. Well, let's go ahead and open the public hearing and get a staff report.
Thank you. Ordinance 2026-008 is for a small-scale land use amendment to change 27.47 acres from low-density residential to light industrial and 2.4 acres from low-density residential to conservation in the suburban development area to allow for light industrial and secondary commercial uses. The application has been submitted with a companion PUD rezoning. The subject site is located at the northeast intersection of Port Jacksonville Parkway and Alto Drive. Both roads are classified as collector roadways, and light industrial designations are preferred in areas which front collector roadways are higher. Additionally, less than 1 mile south of the subject site is a railroad, which has resulted in commercial and industrial uses clustering in this area. The amendment site is buffered from residential uses by Alta Drive and Port Jacksonville Parkway, with Rushing Branch Stream to the north and large-scale industrial development abutting to the east. The proposed amendment provides a logical extension of the 254-acre tract of land, which is designated as light industrial along Port Jacksonville Parkway. Further, 2.4 acres in the northeast and northwest portions of the amendment site that consist of Category 1 and 2 wetlands are proposed to be designated as conservation. For these reasons, and those in the staff report, the Planning Department recommends approval. The Planning Commission forwards a unanimous recommendation of approval from their February 5th meeting with no discussion. Thank you.
All right. One speaker. Oop. Yeah, you're getting your cards in late. We're deducting points. Mm-hmm. Michael Sittner never turned his cards in late.
My sincere apologies for the tardiness. DIA ran almost 4 full hours today. Cindy Trimmer, 1 Independent Drive, Suite 1200, on behalf of the applicant. When this project was originally conceived, there was a hardline break between the industrial with a vision that this portion of the project would be residential. With passage of time and the industrial development that has come online immediately to the east, what makes the most sense now is to allow that to continue a little bit onto this site and then really activate that corridor at the corner with the commercial uses that are contemplated that you'll see in the next round. And then understanding the property more that we do today, putting that northern portion in conservation will allow for an appropriate buffer and protect the residences to the north. I will save the rest of the comments for zoning and I'll stand by for questions.
All right. We have no other speaker cards and no one in the queue, so we'll close the public hearing and bring it back to committee.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and second on the bill. No discussion. Let's open the ballot. Record your vote.
Five yeas, 0 nays.
By your action, you've approved 2026-0008. Item number 6, 2026-0009. Let's get ex parte communication, if anyone has any. All right, seeing none, let's open the public hearing and get a staff report.
Thank you. This is the companion PUD rezoning ordinance 2026-0009, seeking to rezone approximately 29.87 acres from a PUD to a new PUD in order to preserve wetlands that are on the property and also to permit commercial and industrial development. This parcel is located at the corner of Port Jacksonville Parkway and Alta Drive and is at the entrance to the North Point Industrial Business Park. The current PUD, which was approved back in 2014, identified this parcel for single-family residential development, while the remaining PUD, which was about 278 acres, allows for warehousing, distribution, and light assembly uses. So again, this new PUD is wishing to take this parcel and remove the residential component to allow for that mix of commercial and industrial uses. Staff has reviewed the request and finds that the proposed development and uses are consistent with the comp plan, with the land use category of light industrial and conservation. We find it furthers the goals and objectives and meets internal and external criteria. Given the existing development pattern and location at the entrance of the industrial business park, we find the proposed uses to be compatible. So therefore, we are forwarding a recommendation of approval with 2 conditions. These conditions are related to traffic, and those are listed in your agenda. This application was heard by Planning Commission on February 5th, where there were no speakers in opposition and little discussion, and the Commission voted unanimously for approval with those same 2 conditions listed in your agenda. Thank you.
All right, thank you for that. 1 speaker card, Cindy Trimmer.
Cindy Trimmer, 1 Independent Drive, Suite 1200, on behalf of the applicant. If you look at the site plan that we presented to you, as I mentioned before, with the pattern of development coming online and the tremendous demand for industrial uses in this area, the plan is to put another industrial building to complement the existing park and then to reserve that corner, which is developable and upland still, for commercial uses. And then again, importantly, dedicating that northwest corner of the property for conservation. We have no problem with the conditions that are reflected in the staff report and look forward to any conversation.
All right, we have no other speaker cards, no one in the queue. Let's close the public hearing and bring it back to committee. Got an amendment? All right, we got a motion and a second on the amendment. Can someone please explain the amendment?
Sure. The amendment would adopt 2 conditions. First is that a traffic study shall be undertaken by the developer upon PUD verification. The methodology of the study shall be determined by the developer's traffic engineer, the chief of transportation planning, or their designee, and the chief of traffic engineering or their designee. And the second condition, that the PUD area is entitled to access via Alta Drive and Port Jacksonville Parkway. Access may be limited to 1 driveway on each frontage if deemed appropriate by the Development Services Review. And with that, I turn it back over to the chair.
All right, seeing no discussion, all in favor of the amendment signify by saying aye. Any opposed? The amendment carries. Motion and second on the bill as amended. No one in the queue. Open the ballot. Record your vote.
5 yeas, 0 nays.
By your action, you've approved 2026-0009. Item 7, 2026-0010. Let's open the public hearing and get a staff report.
Thank you. Ordinance 2026-010 is for a small-scale land use amendment to change 0.63 of an acre from residential, professional, institutional to community general commercial in the urban development area. This property has a split land use designation of CGC and RPI. The land use amendment is obviously only for the portion of the property that's in the RPI land use category, and this application has been submitted with a companion PUD rezoning. The subject site is situated in the southern portion of the overall parcel, and this is located along University Boulevard West, approximately 400 feet southwest of the intersection of University Boulevard and St. Augustine Road. University Boulevard is a minor arterial road, and St. Augustine Road is a collector road. The proposed amendment is a logical extension of the abutting CGC land use and will result in a uniform land use for the entire parcel. The proposed amendment to CGC results in a compact and compatible development pattern as CGC surrounds the site to the northeast and west. For these reasons, and those in the staff report, the Planning Department recommends approval. On February 5th, Planning Commission voted unanimously to recommend approval with no discussion.
All right, we have one speaker card. Hunter Faulkner.
Good evening. Hunter Faulkner, 10151 Deerwood Park Boulevard, Jacksonville, Florida. On behalf of the applicant, would defer to the staff report and stand by for any questions from the committee.
All right. No one in the queue. Let's go ahead and close the public hearing, bring it back to committee. All right, motion and second on the bill. I'll just weigh in since this is my district. I don't have any questions or concerns on the land use. I do have a couple of questions on the PUD regarding the elevations. So once we get there, I will, dive in for a few questions. So with that, we have no other speakers. Let's open the ballot. Record your vote.
5 yeas, 0 nays.
By your action, you've approved 2026-101 or 0010. Item number 8, 2026-0011. Council members, please declare any ex parte communication you have at this time. Councilmember Arias, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to declare ex parte. I met with the applicant on, February 11th or the 10th. I'm not sure. It was in my office. It was to discuss the concept and the zoning regulations and why PUD was chosen, and it's all currently being filed. Thank you.
Councilmember Diamond, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Rise to declare ex parte communication. Spoke with Mr. Faulkner about what they were planning on doing on this spot. He explained they were going to do garage condos. I told him it's going to be a terrible product. No one's going to buy them, and mine are much better. Thank you.
All right, and I've got similar ex parte, February 17th at 12:30. I met with Mr. Faulkner via Zoom. We discussed the site plan, parking, and the PUD. This paperwork is going to be filed with Legislative Services. With that, we'll go ahead and open the public hearing and get a staff report.
Thank you. This is the companion rezoning 2026-11 that seeks to rezone 2.15 acres from CCG1 and CRO to a PUD to permit the storage of personal property in the form of private automotive and vehicle garage condominiums. The subject property is located on the south side of University Boulevard West, just west of St. Augustine Road. Staff has reviewed the request and finds the proposed development and uses are consistent with the comprehensive plan with the land use category of CGC and furthers the goals and objectives of the comp plan and meets the internal and external criteria. The proposed site plan shows the storage buildings along the perimeter of the site with the vehicle use area and access to storage buildings limited to the interior portion of the property. The primary entrance will be along University Boulevard West and a secondary entrance from Fleetwood Road, limited to storage unit owners and emergency service access. The site plan was reviewed by Development Services Division traffic technician, who had no concerns for the second entrance from Fleetwood, but did forward one condition. So the department is forwarding a recommendation of approval with the one condition listed in the agenda. This item was heard by the Planning Commission on February 5th. There were no speakers in opposition, and the commission voted unanimously for approval.
All right, thank you for that. We have one speaker card, Hunter Faulkner.
Good evening again. Hunter Faulkner, 10151 Deerwood Park Boulevard on behalf of the applicant. As it relates to the application, and the condition proposed by staff, we have no issue with the condition proposed as it relates to the entrance to Fleetwood Road. As it relates to the chair and our conversation with regard to elevations, I did circulate an email that had attachments with renderings and elevations. I'm not sure if I didn't receive a response from your staff. I do have hard copies that I can circulate amongst the committee members as well, so I can hand these out.
Yeah, go ahead and hand those out.
All right.
You can continue.
As it relates to the rezoning, we are requesting a PUD rezoning from what is currently a parcel that has dual zoning of CCG1 and CRO. The PUD would accomplish allowing a single zoning criteria for the entire parcel, similar to the request for the land use amendment to bring it all under one designation. We are looking to develop 28 fee simple luxury car garages. These would be lining the exterior of the site. We got the majority of those are going to be on the east and west side. We do have 3 units which will be on the north end, frontage along University Boulevard. We do have a 10-foot buffer from University Boulevard on the property line, appropriate buffers on the southern boundary and the side boundaries as well. The buildings themselves are approximately a little over 20 feet high. They are garages for the most part. They are metal buildings. The client is working with the architect to make them aesthetically pleasing, given they are garages. However, so they will have windows on the backside. The frontage along University, it's the narrow part of the property. There's only 3 buildings there, so it's going to be approximately 66 feet of storage buildings that will be on the front. But again, these aren't like the neighboring property of Atlantic Self-Storage. These are more upscale, providing for people to store their their cars or small vessels and whatnot. We are limiting, as it relates to access on Fleetwood Road, we are limiting that to gated access from the owners of the units only. There will be no commercial traffic permitted through the Fleetwood Road entrance and exit to minimize traffic through the residential area to the south of the property. And all commercial and vehicular traffic, for the most part, will be entering and exiting through University Boulevard. With that, I will stand by for any questions that you may have. Thanks.
All right. Thank you. We don't have any other speaker cards, so we'll. Okay. Are you in the queue? Okay. We'll keep the public hearing open. Councilmember Ayers, you're recognized. Go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. Just trying to navigate this. But anyways, I'm looking at the bird's eye view, the rendering that you have on Exhibit 4, and along, I guess, University Boulevard, there's not really, I don't see much landscaping, being that you said this is not like the self-storage unit next door, which these are more elevated, which I appreciate. I think a little bit of landscaping just to make sure that, it blocks off that from the road. Do you guys anticipate putting some landscaping?
We do. We'd like to have as much site perimeter buffering as we can to improve the aesthetic of the site from the road and from surrounding properties.
And also the privacy of the owners as well, too, from those suites. So
yes, that's correct.
Just want to make sure that you keep that in mind. Thank you.
Certainly, yes.
All right. So this is what I want to do. There's no other speakers in the queue. We can close the public hearing, but this is what I want to do, Mr. Faulkner, because this is more or less the first time I've seen the elevations. You sent them yesterday or like later today, but I can't turn that around that quickly. So I don't have a problem with the use. The use is not an issue for me. And what I really want to just dial into is which one of these is facing University Boulevard. Because if it's not this picture, which I don't think it is, then we have just like a little bit of work to do on the back side of the building.
Okay.
So is that safe to say, like which page on here is the front of the building facing University Boulevard.
So that would be you're correct. The artist rendering that you're looking at with the sky and everything, that would be looking from inside the site at one of the front of the buildings. The exhibit, and I think I handed them all. So it's going to be the back of the narrow building. It's going to have the slender windows on the narrow portion of the 3-unit structure.
So exterior elevation, building 1
Correct.
south.
Yes, because you're looking
at south.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if it's okay with you, and I just want to defer this so we can just talk about slight little changes that we can do on that side, because it's just not. Again, this is kind of the first time I'm seeing it, and we talked about it over the phone. Like this, to just put that massing there would honestly be worse than Atlantic Self-Storage right down the road, in my opinion. So, if you're agreeable to that, you can state that on the record, and if not, then we'll see where it goes.
Well, I do appreciate the concern. My client's not here this evening. We got a closing approaching. Full transparency on that. With respect, would it be deferring to the next hearing, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just 2 weeks, I think, right? Is that where we're at? Say that again.
It's since it's a Wednesday, it's actually less than 2 weeks. It's Tuesday the 3rd.
All right, you're getting a discount, and less than 1 day. If you want to go call him, you can. But
he's going to defer to what I think, respectfully, through the chair. So we can defer. I'm happy to. I'm happy to have my staff reach out and schedule time to meet and further discuss these so that we can get everybody on the same page and get it to something that we're all comfortable with.
Okay, let's do that. And I'll tell you what we'll do is I'm going to turn the chair over to my vice chair, let him kind of run the rest of the meeting, and then we'll go work on this right now in the green room, so that we can kind of expedite some of the time. But for now, we're just going to go ahead and say item 2026-0011 is deferred.
To the chair, do you want to reopen the public hearing and then continue it to 3-3?
Are we required to do that?
Well, it would be an opportunity for more input under a public hearing setting at the next meeting.
Sure, that's fine. I mean, there's not going to, yeah. We'll open the public hearing, then we'll continue until 3/3/26. Mr. Vice Chair, it is.
Was number 8. Now we're on 9/2026-0012. Open the public hearing. Get a staff report.
Ordinance 2026-012 is for a small-scale land use amendment to change 10.9 acres from light industrial to low-density residential in the suburban area. The subject site is located on the south side of Gold Star Family Parkway, which is near Lanny Road. Gold Star Family Parkway is a minor arterial road, and Lanny Road is a collector. The companion PUD rezoning application, which is specifically, really, the relationship is very important with this land use. The companion consists of this subject site as well as the abutting property to the south, which totals 508.42 acres. So while the vast majority of the companion PUD is already located within the LDR land use category, the 10.9 acre subject site is within light industrial. So the applicant's plan is for the proposed land use amendment site to be an extension of that LDR land use that abuts the property. Thus the reason for the land use amendment request to LDR. So for those reasons and others in the staff report, the Planning Department recommends approval. Planning Commission voted unanimously to recommend approval of the item at their February 5th meeting with minimal discussion. Thank you.
All right, we only have one speaker card. Zach Miller.
Good evening, Zach Miller, 3203 Old Barn Court. As staff spoke, this entire area was part of a PUD that was industrial, I think, 20 years ago. 4 years ago, this council amended it to residential. This is not changing the number of units. This is not changing the size of the units. This is not changing any conditions. All this is doing is adding 10 acres so they can have access to Gold Star as opposed to access coming from the southwest.
Any questions for Mr. Miller? Seeing none, close the public hearing. And nope. Got a motion? And no, there's no memo on this one. Got a motion? MTQ, put it on the board, please. Oh, yeah, I got you. Oh, you're right. I got you. Well, I think I can withdraw it. There we go.
4 yeas, 0 nays.
By your action, you've approved item number 9, 2026-0012. Moving on to item, do you have at it? Well, let me announce it. Item number 10, 2026-0013. Council members, please declare any ex parte you may have. Mr. Gaffney.
Thank you. Through the chair, I rise to declare ex parte. I met with Zach Miller in my office, 3 o'clock, 3:30, just to discuss the 10 acres and the ingress and egress. And I'll make sure everything gets filed with legislative services.
All right, and we want to go ahead and welcome Councilmember Johnson. He has been in the green room talking to his constituents about this zoning, so welcome. And I think you're going to go back in there. Okay, we got you on the roll call now. All right, where are we at? Ex parte? Ex parte 13. Who took my book?
You took it with you.
Where are we at? Staff report. Let's open the public hearing and get staff report.
Thank you. This is the companion PUD rezoning ordinance 2026-0013, seeking to rezone approximately 508 acres from a PUD that was originally approved in 2022 to a new PUD to add an additional parcel, which would act as an entrance from the development onto Gold Star Family Parkway. No other changes are requested from what is currently entitled under the existing PUD. So the current PUD for the property was approved under Ordinance 2022-387, which permitted up to 1,000 single-family residences. Staff has reviewed the request, finds that the proposed development and uses are consistent with the comp plan, furthers goals and objectives of the comp plan, and meets the internal and external criteria. The site plan was reviewed by Development Services Division's traffic technician, who had no concerns for the new proposed entrance, but did want to afford a condition related to a traffic study, and then also a separate condition for verbiage within the written description, just to clarify some verbiage related to sidewalks. So the department is forwarding a recommendation of approval with 2 conditions that are listed in your agenda. This application was heard by Planning Commission on February 5th. There were no speakers in opposition and little discussion, and the commission voted unanimously for approval with those same 2 conditions in your agenda.
All right, thank you so much. We have one speaker card, Zach Miller.
Good evening again, Zach Miller, 3203 Old Barn Court. Reiterate the exact same comments I made last time. The chairperson is back, so just to confirm, this is not changing the number of units, the size of the units, any of the conditions. It's just allowing for a different access point to Gold Star.
All right. I was just laughing because you said exact. I thought you were making a pun on your name.
I was.
Yeah. All right. With that, we've got we've got no other speaker cards. So let's close the public hearing and bring it back to committee. All right. We have a motion second on the amendment. Could someone please explain the amendment?
To the chair, the amendment is to adopt 2 conditions. One is that a traffic study shall be undertaken by the developer upon PUD verification. The methodology of the study shall be determined by the developer's traffic engineer, the chief of the transportation planning or their designee, and the chief of traffic engineering or their designee. And the second condition is that sidewalks shall be provided and constructed consistent with section 654.133 of the ordinance code. Before I turn back over to the chair, I just want to confirm with the applicant if they have any objections or comments about the conditions.
No conditions or we don't have any objections to any of the conditions. We consent to them.
All right. So you're good with that exact wording?
I mean, good with those exact wording because it's already in the code. So those are conditions that we have to comply with the code. But
you missed it. It's fine.
Okay.
I was doing
yeah.
There you go. Sorry, you missed it.
It's been a long day, Mr. Chair.
I know. I'm sorry, man. You got it. We're just trying to lighten it up a little bit. All right. So with that, all in favor of the amendment, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? The amendment carries. All right, motion is second on the bill as amended. No one in the queue. Let's open the ballot. Record your vote. It was a solid explanation, by the way.
5 yeas, 0 nays.
All right, by your action, you approve 2026-0013.
Exactly as I hoped.
All right. Councilmember Diamond, did you want to see Mr. Miller? Okay. Zach? Oh. Okay, got it. Okay. Yeah. Good night tonight. I like this. All right, number 11, 2026-14. Council members, please declare any ex parte communication you have at this time. Seeing none, let's open the public hearing and get a staff report.
Thank you. 2026-14 seeks to rezone approximately 0.12 acres from RMDA to a PUD to allow for the expansion of employee parking for the Jacksonville Port Authority. The subject property originally contained a single-family dwelling that was demolished in 2025, and the property now sits vacant. Jacksport Authority rezoned the property to the east of the subject site to a PUD under 2020-714 to develop a parking area for their offices just north of the subject site. The proposed PUD seeks to allow for the parking area to expand onto the subject site. Staff has reviewed the request and finds the proposed rezoning is consistent with the comprehensive plan with the existing land use designation of MDR, where off-street parking is allowed as a secondary use. For these reasons and those in the staff report, we forward a recommendation of approval with the one condition listed in the agenda and a revised written description dated January 23rd. This item was heard at the February 5th Planning Commission meeting and was voted unanimously for approval.
All right, thank you. We have one speaker card, Tripper Jones, and he supports and check that he is here for questions only. And that is it. Okay. So we have no other speakers in the queue, so we will close the public hearing and bring it back to committee. All right, we have a motion and a second on the amendment. All in favor of the amendment signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? The amendment carries.
The bill is amended.
All right, we have a motion and a second on the bill as amended. No one in the queue. Let's open the ballot. Record your vote.
Four yeas, 0 nays.
By your action, you've approved 2026-0014.
And to the chair, just for the record, I remember the gentleman was at Planning Commission and agreed to the condition, so I just want that to be clear.
Okay, got it. All right, item number 12, 2026-0015. Open the public hearing. 15. No speaker cards. We'll continue this public hearing until 3/3/26. Item number 13, 2026-0016. Council members, please declare any ex parte communication you have at this time. Seeing none, let's open the public hearing and get a staff report.
2026-16 seeks to rezone approximately 3.14 acres from residential rural acre to residential low density 90 to permit the development of single-family dwellings. The subject property consists of 2 lots that are each over 1.5 acres in size. The applicant seeks to reconfigure the property to add an additional lot and single-family dwelling for a total of 3. Staff has reviewed the request and finds the proposed rezoning is consistent with the comprehensive plan with the existing land use designation of LDR. The 3.14 acre subject site is located on the north side of Brady Road, and the proposed RLD 90 zoning district permits development well suited to the contiguous residential development density as a transitional density. The area along Brady Road is largely residential in nature, and the predominant zoning districts found include RR Acre, RLD 100A, RLD 100B, and RLD 90. For these reasons and those in the staff report, we forward a recommendation of approval. This item was heard at the February 5th Planning Commission meeting. There were no speakers in opposition, and the commission voted 6-0 for approval.
All right, one speaker card, Hayden Phillips.
Thank you. Hayden Phillips, 1301 River Place Boulevard. This is a single homeowner. It's a married couple. They own 2 lots. They are seeking RLD 90 so that they can turn that into 3 lots to build a home for his mother so that she can live on site with him. There are 90-foot lots in every direction under a variety of zoning districts. I would be glad to answer any questions should you have them. Thank you.
All right, we have no other speaker cards. Let's close the public hearing and bring it back to committee. Motion and second on the bill. No one in the queue. Open the ballot. Record your vote.
Four yeas, 0 nays.
By your action, you've approved 2026-0016. Item number 14, 2020. What? Yep. All right, item number 14, 2026-0017. Council members, please declare any ex parte communication you have at this time. Seeing none, let's open the public hearing and get a staff report.
Thank you. This is PUD rezoning, ordinance 2026-0017, seeking to rezone approximately 7.3 acres from a PUD that was originally approved in 1997 to a new PUD. The rezoning is being requested to allow for the use of a medical office and clinics in addition with the existing uses. The current PUD allows for the development of an existing corporate headquarters for a bank, which contained offices and a restaurant. So the PUD permits the existing bank and ancillary uses, including the restaurant, and adds the medical office to the allowed uses to diversify the office uses. This PUD also modifies the existing signage requirements in the original PUD to allow for additional wall signage and overall signage consistent with what's allowed in commercial zoning. Staff has reviewed the request and finds that the proposed rezoning is consistent with the existing land use category of CGC, furthers the comp plan, and meets the internal and external criteria. The property is located on the west side of Gate Parkway, which is just north of JTB. The surrounding area is developed primarily with existing office complexes, supporting commercial uses, and multifamily residential. So because of these reasons and those in the staff report, we forward a recommendation of approval. Application was heard by Planning Commission on February 5th. There were no speakers in opposition and little discussion, and they voted unanimously for approval.
All right, we have one speaker card, Paige Johnson.
Hello, Paige
Hello,
Johnston.
good to see you.
Rogers Towers, 1301 River Place Boulevard, on behalf of the applicant. Aaron did a great job with the staff report. So my highlights are simply that this is an existing PUD that had limited uses. It was approved in the late 90s just for bank activity with some ancillary uses. Now the owner is looking to add a few additional uses such as medical offices and medical accessory uses that would go along with the office and clinics and so forth. We've modified the commercial signage criteria within the PUD to make it more consistent with the current signage in Part 13 of the code. And I'm happy to have stand by for any questions.
Okay. All right. And was there any, did we get the Salem Amendment handed out, Mr. Reingold?
Yes, I've actually handed out a copy of the Salem Amendment. It is up on the dais. It should be in front of all of you.
Okay. Ms. Johnson, have you reviewed the Salem Amendment?
I haven't seen the Salem Amendment. Would you like to share it with me?
Okay, so you're not familiar with the Salem Amendment?
No.
Okay. Welcome to LEZ. We just had to, it's your initiation, so we had to.
In that case,
we could have taken it a little further.
I'm good with the Salem Amendment.
Okay. Perfect. Good answer. Okay. All right. So with that, we have no other speaker cards, so we'll close the public hearing and bring it back to committee. All right. We have a motion and a second on the bill. No speakers in the queue. Let's open the ballot. Record your vote.
4 yeas, 0 nays.
By your action, you have approved 2026-0017.
Thank you.
All right. Congratulations. You got your first one done. All right. Moving on to item number 15, 2026-0022. Let's open the public hearing and get a staff report.
Ordinance 2026-022 is for a small-scale land use amendment to change 1.98 acres from low-density residential to business park in the suburban development area. This is to allow for the development of an office / warehouse building. The applicant also seeks a companion rezoning to industrial business park. The site is located at 9702 Historic Kings Road South, on the west side of Historic Kings Road South, which is a local roadway. The area surrounding the subject site is residential. Across the street from the subject site, on the east side of that road, is a railroad. The railroad and Historic Kings Road act as buffers between the residential uses and the commercial and industrial uses along Phillips Highway. A new subdivision developed in the last approximately 6 years abuts the subject site to the north, thereby reinforcing the existing LDR land use of the area as well as that residential development typology. per the operational provisions of the future land use element. One of the primary objectives of the future land use element and other elements of the comp plan is to ensure protection of existing and emerging residential areas from encroachment by intrusive commercial, industrial, and public or semi-public uses. The proposed land use amendment from LDR to BP would disrupt the existing land use fabric of the existing single-family neighborhood and detract from the residential character of the area. For these reasons and those in the staff report, the Planning Department recommends denial. Planning Commission heard the item on February 5th and voted to recommend approval after some discussion. Thank you.
All right. Do we have any speaker cards on this one? First, we'll go to Mr. Herzberg, the applicant. Go ahead.
Through the chair, sir, may I ask, are there additional speaker cards?
2026-22? No? Yep. All right. Yes, sir. We have a total of 5, including yours. So,
okay. Thank you.
Take it away.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, thank you for this opportunity. Unfortunately, I have to disagree with staff in regards to this, and instead I would support staff's report of a property just 400 feet to the south of this that they did just over a year ago, which also came through this body. In this report, the staff is indicating that this roadway, historic Kings Road South, is predominantly residential. They do acknowledge the industrial land use, light industrial land use directly to the east, which is across the railroad tracks, which are, again, unbuffered from the historic Kings Road. And on page 7 of the handout that I've given you is the actual land use map. It depicts the site, Kings Road, and you can see the light industrial just to the east. You can also see the BP that they recommended approval of just 400 feet to the south of this site just over a year ago, as I stated. The report references Sunbeam Road as being approximately 2,000 feet in area. Really, historic Kings Road is about 2,700 feet in length, in total length. That's from Sunbeam down to Lorsey. Of that, approximately 50% of that is already either business park or light industrial land use. So to call it residential just simply isn't true. Almost 50% of the land use along that roadway is actually an industrial in nature. Let's look at it at the parcel level. There's 14 parcels along this roadway from Sunbeam down to Lorsey, and you'll find of the 14 parcels, only 5 have residential dwellings on them. As a matter of fact, the parcel immediately to the south of this subject site has already been converted to a paver laydown yard. You can see the photo that's in the handout that I've given you there, and on the next page you'll see the phone number to this. Those are dump units right there for broken pavers, hauling pavers. They're stacking and storing pavers, clearly running a paver business on the immediately adjacent property. So the staff report refers to those railroad tracks as being a buffer. I don't see a railroad track as being a buffer. It's a freight line, so this is loud. These are heavy train cars coming through here. There are no buffers on the back of that property. That is the properties to the east where the light industrial is, because they're not required to. They butt up against this railroad track. So nothing to keep that noise from coming across, all the way across the historic Kings Road corridor onto these properties. The report also acknowledges having recommended approval of that 3.4 acre parcel, which again is on page 7 of your report. Down there just a year ago, and a copy of their staff report is attached at the back, highlighted in orange. And in that staff report, the department states, while that site abuts residential to the north and south, there is also a large area of LI designated land across historic Kings Road to the east. They're making my point. The report viewed that amendment as providing a transition of uses between the low-density residential uses to the north and south and the LI to the east, promoting a well-balanced and organized combination. That's exactly what this land use amendment does. The report also stated at that time that the amendment would be complementary to the existing industrial uses. I apologize, sir. I'm out of time. I will just ask that you look at the rest of that. I think that it clearly depicts that we should be considered for approval of this, and I'll stand by.
Okay. Thank you. We'll give you some time at the end for rebuttal if it's needed, because we only gave you 3 minutes. Is that correct, Mr. Rebecca? Okay. All right. Ms. Lisa Fowler, followed by Stephen Slotkin, and then Michael Fowler.
Hello. Lisa Fowler, 5126 Oak Bend Avenue. I'm coming tonight because I want to oppose this land use change. I live in the neighborhood that abuts this property. And I don't think that additional noise needs to be added. I don't know what type of industrial stuff they're planning on doing, but I don't see it as being a positive thing. It's very close to our, we have a green space in our neighborhood, and it kind of abuts right up to the green space. And a lot of kids like to play back there and stuff, and if there's a lot of noise, it won't be so thrilling for them. That's really it.
Okay. All right. Next speaker is Stephen Slotkin. Go ahead, sir.
My name is Steve Slotkin. I live at 5114 Oak Bend Avenue. I live in the subdivision Price Park, which directly abuts the property in question. There's 2 homes within the subdivision that back up directly to this property, and 5 more that are within 200 feet. I'm concerned about this proposal. I oppose it. I believe it changes the character of our neighborhood to abut an industrial property. I believe there's likely to be noise pollution, visual blight. I'm concerned that the proposed rezoning is overly broad and would allow more intensive uses, such as light manufacturing, directly adjacent to subdivision homes. IBP zoning allows a variety of uses. We've got no details as to what's proposed. There'd be nothing preventing this property from turning into a light manufacturing facility under the proposed land use amendment and rezoning. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next, we have Michael Fowler.
Good evening, Michael Fowler, 5126 Oak Bend Avenue. I'm also the vice president of the HOA for that community. And as you see in the map, this touches our HOA by property line. While there was a previously approved down at the corner and at the Sunbeam area, the rest of the area over there is all residential. It's kids playing in that back area. This is not a location where we want business encroaching upon our community. The gentleman at the very beginning of the meeting talking about his differences between his acre lots and the 30, 45-foot lots. We're talking residential. This is a business coming into our homes that we're living in. The initial information that Ms. Kelly gave in opening the conversation pretty much says it all. This is not where we want the community. And the train that goes through there is a complete buffer. There is a complete wooded system behind those trains that keep Phillips Highway to the other side as well. And I would just really like to strongly advocate for your opposition to this, especially in your region, Mr. Carlucci. Thank you for your time this evening.
Okay, we have one last speaker, Samantha Series. Okay, she's not in the room, so moving on to Mr. Herzberg. 2 minutes for rebuttal.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. I'll be brief. I did want to include, and you heard staff say earlier, Price Park has been a new subdivision to the area. As a matter of fact, it was just approved in 2017. If you'll notice on that map, page 7, that I had handed out, That subdivision moved in immediately adjacent to light industrial, LI, a far more intensive land use category than what's being proposed here, all along the northern border of that subdivision. Matter of fact, abutting about 8 homes in that area. What's proposed here is BP, a transitional land use, according to the comprehensive plan. As a matter of fact, I included that in the staff report, or I included that in my report, referencing the definition of transition. I believe it's on page 4 of the handout, page 3 of the handout. Again, I understand their concern about the character of the neighborhood, but their neighborhood directs to the west. Their only access for vehicles is to the west along Hood Road. No cars can come out this way. They do have a pedestrian area, kind of a underdeveloped green space area, as they said. Any development on this property, the subject property, would have to meet the standards of buffering according to the land use code, which would be the 10-foot buffer, the fence, the tree every 25 feet. There is in no way an exemption from that or any other relief from that. So there would be an uncomplimentary buffer that would be installed with any development on this property. Quite simply, gentlemen, the issue is this property, especially those on Old Historic Kings Road, is not feasible for residential development. They face the direct impacts of the rail. They face the direct impacts of the unmitigated industrial to the east on the other side of this. So this property has been looked at by a church, a few other uses. The impacts are too strong, which is why you aren't seeing new residential homes built along there. With that, I'll stand by for any questions, and thank you.
All right. Let's see what we got. Hold on. All right. We have no other speaker cards, so we'll close the public hearing and bring it back to committee. All right, can someone please explain the amendment?
Thank you very much. The amendment is just a technical change to add the word South following Historic Kings Road.
Got it. Okay, we have a motion and a second on the amendment. All in favor of the amendment signify by saying aye. Any opposed? The amendment carries. All right, motion and a second on the bill as amended. Yeah, I'm just kind of looking at this. So, and I don't know if this is, I mean, so first let's just kind of unpack. This is a land use and a zoning. So, Mr. Reingold, if these questions need to be answered on the zoning, just tell me this. But, you know, this is the first time I'm hearing any opposition to this. You know, at first blush, there was really no concerns from the other immediate community, especially on the actual road that this is going on. So, as far as noise is concerned, how is that monitored and how is that enforced and how is that something that we can take into consideration as far as the land use portion goes? And again, if that needs to be discussed on the zoning, then so be it, but that was two of the main concerns I heard.
To the chair, with regards to land use, you have broad latitude in your decision making for a land use item. So if you're concerned about a type of use being inconsistent with an adjacent use because, you know, noise or other sorts of things like that, then you could take that into consideration. I'd have a little bit more concern about that if it was in a quasi-judicial context, because there would be like a factual basis for those arguments.
Okay, understood. So Mr. Herzberg, what is, yeah, please. What is going here? And if we met a long time ago, so I know you did tell me. I can't remember the specifics.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Through the chair, sir. This would effectively be warehouses. So very similar to the project that's immediately to the south, or 400 feet to the south. It's also in the next section, in the zoning section of the report I handed you. They would be metal buildings, totally enclosed. The zoning district does not allow outdoor activities or outdoor storage, so everything has to be contained within the buildings.
Okay. And what kind of warehouses are they? Like
through the chair, sir, it is pretty broad as far as what's allowed, again, to be conducted within those buildings. But again, all uses must be conducted. It could be assembly of components, could be somebody working on screen enclosure, things of that nature. They're very limited in what they can do in the IBP as far as industrial type uses. It's an industrial district, but it's again limited to more of a commercial office. And again, these could be commercial offices within these spaces as well.
Okay, understood. But it has to be all inside the warehouses.
That's correct, sir.
Okay. So I guess the next question is to whoever from the neighborhood, Mr. Fowler Jr., perhaps. Were you aware of that type of condition, so to speak, with it having to be inside the warehouses as far as the noise goes?
The building that's at the corner that was recently approved,
Mhm.
we can hear their work from our neighborhood.
Mhm.
These, if you look at the picture that Mr. Slotkin provided,
Mhm.
my house is corner adjacent to these buildings.
Mhm.
So it's not just the audio, but there would be the blight of a building as opposed to the pine forests that I have behind there and the two neighbors beside us have currently. It would be these large, what appear to be at least 20-foot tall warehouses down the street. If that's the same thing going in, it's not going to look good directly behind your house. You wouldn't
Mhm.
want it behind yours.
Right. Okay. Well, I hate to. This is what normally we like to have a meeting of the community and the applicant prior to getting here. So I know we just heard from Mr. Slotkin, I believe, today or yesterday, with kind of an email that said, "Hey, we're going to be vocal on this, but we didn't know if it was going to be supported or opposition." So this is the first time I'm hearing about it. So what I'm going to do is just defer both of these and say, Mr. Herzberg, you need to get with these folks right here, and then I'll be happy to attend the meeting if possible. But I think we kind of have a general understanding, a general starting point of what they're trying to accomplish and what I'm trying to accomplish on their behalf for their neighborhood. So work it out. All right. So 2026-0022 is being deferred, so we'll open that public hearing again, and we will continue that public hearing until 3/3/26. Item number 16, 2026.
And to the chair, I just want to confirm. So I know we passed the amendment. Do you want me to enroll an amendment or just kind of hold off on that until
Just hold. You can just
okay.
hold. 'Cause
So
there
I
might
will
be
not be
another one.
filing an amendment for 2026-22 on this cycle.
Great. Thank you. All right, item number 16, 2026-0023 is being deferred. We will open that public hearing and continue the public hearing until 3/3/26. Item number 17, 2026-0024. Council members, please declare any ex parte communication you have at this time. Seeing none, let's open the public hearing and get a staff report.
Thank you. This is a conventional rezoning ordinance 2026-0024, which is seeking to rezone approximately 3.38 acres from RLD 60 to commercial residential office, CRO. The request is to expand the CRO zoning district to the subject property to match the parcel to the south, which is under the same ownership and is currently operated as Eartha's Farm and Market. Staff has reviewed the request and finds that the proposed rezoning is consistent with the comp plan, with the existing land use designation of RPI, and it furthers the goals and objectives of the comp plan. The subject property is located along Moncrief Road, which is classified as a collector roadway, just north of the CSX rail line. This section of Moncrief Road includes a mix of development uses, which include single-family residential, multifamily apartments, nursing homes, and then all city-owned properties that operate as recreational parks and schools. We do note that the property is located within two neighborhood action plans. This is the 45th and Moncrief Neighborhood Action Plan, which was approved in 2004, and the Royal Terrace Neighborhood Study, which was done in 1980. Both have identified this parcel as potential recreational uses. However, since these studies have been completed, the city has developed and expanded the Clenzel T. Brown City Park, which is located just 600 feet south from the subject property. The planning department finds that the requested rezoning to CRO is consistent and compatible with the surrounding uses, so therefore we forward a recommendation of approval. The application was heard by Planning Commission on February 5th, where there were no speakers in opposition and little discussion, and the commission voted unanimously for approval.
All right. This is 2026-0024. We have one speaker card, Mr. John Nooney. And Mr. Nooney, this needs to be exactly to the zoning or you will be cut off.
Believe me, I'm getting more. Okay. I am John J. Nooney, Jacksonville City Council Resolution 2023-0819. I'm in City Council District 4, CPAC 3, School Board District 3. Here's, I got two items just for evidence. This is the speaker card that was originally rejected. And, this is the Clara White. There's a waterway there, Moncrief Creek. And let me read right from the thing. It says, the plan recommends the site be restored for historical and passive recreational use and that the creek be fenced The vacant land be cleared and developed as a park. A park. We're getting it. Wow. Now, why isn't this being sent to waterways? What an opportunity for a sliver of public access to another waterway in Duval County, Jacksonville. I mean, this is massive. And I appeal. Councilman Diamond, he had a very similar scenario, out at the beaches. That was a fine recommendation that, just got pulled. And it meets, I was just out there. You have an opportunity. And Councilman Arias with the jet skis.
Hey, man, you got to stick to the zoning. We're not here to hear about that.
Well, the zoning, it's on a creek. You're going to fence it in. And public access, FWC. I'm wearing my FWC hat. It's a play off the Fish and Wildlife Commission. You know what? Fishing with Clara. I'll tell you,
Mr. Nooney, you're out of order. If you don't want to continue to speak on the zoning.
No. The bill well, there's a waterway component, sir. And, all I know is we have this is another one of just dozens of examples where there is just the tiniest piece of opportunity for public access to a waterway. And I've been there. Go out, and if you haven't done a site inspection, you can just see for yourself. And it's tourism. It is economic development, on steroids. And so, anyway, please, just consider that, in your decision making. And, I'm just down to like 30-some seconds. But, these two pieces, just, have them, for the record. And again, this is evidence to just share with the entire city how we are just missing these opportunities for a quality of life scenario that it shouldn't be this hard. All right, thank you for listening.
All right, we're going to close the public hearing and bring it back to committee. All right, we have a motion and a second on the bill. No one in the queue. Open the ballot, record your vote. That was
6 yeas, 0 nays.
By your action, you've approved 2026-0024. Item number 18, 2026-26. Council members, please declare any ex parte communication you have at this time. Councilmember Arias, you're recognized.
All right, Chair. I'd like to declare ex parte. I met with the applicant, spoke to the applicant on February 12th, and we discussed the project and specific uses of the PUD, and it's being filed currently. Thank you.
All right, let's open the public hearing and get a staff report.
Thank you. This is PUD rezoning ordinance 2026-0026, seeking to rezone approximately 27 acres from industrial business park to a PUD to allow for the subdivision of the existing business park into individual parcels. The site is currently developed with 5 office buildings located on a single parcel, and the property owner intends to subdivide the property in order to sell the buildings to individual ownership. The PUD is necessary in order to address existing on-site conditions following the subdivision, including ensuring that parking and landscaping are considered on a site-wide basis rather than on an individual parcel. All uses currently permitted within the IBP zoning district will be allowed under the proposed PUD. The subject property is located on the west side of Gate Parkway. The surrounding area is developed primarily with existing office complex, supporting commercial and multifamily residential. Surrounding uses are located within PUDs and similar office complexes, including the one to the west, which was rezoned to a PUD back in 2025 to address the same issues of subdividing the individual buildings into individual ownership. The planning department finds that the requested rezoning is consistent and compatible with surrounding uses. Therefore, we are forwarding a recommendation of approval with one traffic-related condition listed in your agenda. This application was heard by Planning Commission on February 5th, where there were no speakers in opposition and little discussion, and they voted unanimously for approval with that same one condition in the agenda.
Okay, thank you so much. We have one speaker card. Cindy Trimmer.
Good evening, Cindy Trimmer, 1 Independent Drive, Suite 1200 on behalf of the applicant. This one's really straightforward. There is absolutely no change planned to the existing office park, much like the exercise we just did for the sister park next door. This will allow them to subdivide, change title, and facilitate financing for the property. I am available for any questions.
Okay, we have no other speaker cards, no one in the queue. Let's close the public hearing and bring it back to committee. All right, we have a motion and a second on the amendment. Mr. Reingold, will you explain the amendment?
I'd be delighted. So the amendment is to adopt one condition, which is that unless waived by the Chief of Traffic Engineering or their designee, a traffic study shall be undertaken by the developer upon PUD verification. The methodology of the study shall be determined by the developer's traffic engineer, the Chief of the Transportation Planning or their designee, and the Chief of Traffic Engineering or their designee. And with that, I just ask Ms. Trimmer if she's okay with that, and then turn it back over to the chair.
We're comfortable with the condition.
All right, all in favor of the amendment signify by saying aye. Any opposed? The amendment carries. Motion and second on the bill as amended. Open the ballot. Record your vote.
Six yeas, 0 nays.
By your action, you've approved 2026-0026. Item number 19, 2026-0027. Let's open the public hearing and get a staff report.
Ordinance 2026-027 is for a small-scale land use amendment to change 9.56 acres from agriculture to rural residential in the suburban development area. The application has been submitted with a conventional rezoning application to residential rural-acre and companion waivers of road frontage as the properties are accessed through private easements connected to Ute Road and do not have road frontage. The site is composed of 2 parcels and is situated northwest of the intersection of Ute Road and Moncrief Road West, both local roads. The 2 parcels are not contiguous. They are approximately 400 feet apart with a 6.06 acre parcel to the north and a 3.5 acre parcel to the south. The applicant seeks to develop the lots with single-family residences. The applicant intends to use well and septic, and the minimum lot size in rural residential within the suburban area is 1 unit per acre when centralized potable water and or wastewater are not available. Conservation land abuts the site to the west, and single-family residences in the AGR land use category are located to the east. Garden Street, a collector road, is approximately a half a mile north. Recent amendments to LDR, low-density residential, have been approved along Garden Street pursuant to ordinances in 2021, 2022, and 2024. So for these reasons and those in the staff report, Planning Department recommends approval. The Planning Commission at their February 5th meeting unanimously recommended approval with no discussion. Thank you.
All right, we have one speaker card. Deshauna Bennett, and questions only. Is that correct? Oh, okay. With that, we'll close the public hearing and bring it back to committee. All right, we have a motion and a second on the bill. No one in the queue. Let's open the ballot. Record your vote.
Six yeas, 0 nays.
By your action, you've approved 2026-0027. Item number 20, 2026-0028. Council members, please declare any ex parte communication you have at this time. Seeing none, let's open the public hearing and get a staff report.
Thank you. 2026-28 is the companion rezoning that seeks to rezone approximately 9.56 acres from agriculture to residential rural acre. The subject site is comprised of 2 parcels approximately 400 feet apart with a 6.06 acre parcel to the north and a 3.5 acre parcel to the south. The applicant intends to develop 2 single-family dwellings on each parcel for a total of 4 dwellings. Both sites will be accessed via private easements. A waiver of road frontage will be applied for the southern parcel at a later date once the easement has been finalized, which it has been, and that will be coming back up shortly. Staff has reviewed the request and finds the proposed development and uses are consistent with the comprehensive plan and furthers the goals and objectives of the comp plan. The proposed RR acre zoning district permits development well suited to the contiguous residential development density as a transitional density. The area along Ute Road is largely residential in nature, and the predominant zoning district found is AGR. However, RR acre is a compatible zoning district with a minimum lot size of 1 acre. For those reasons and those in the staff report, we forward a recommendation of approval. This item was heard at the February 5th Planning Commission meeting. There was no speakers in opposition, and the Commission voted 6-0 for approval.
All right, one speaker card. Deshauna Bennett, questions only. No speakers. Let's close the public hearing and bring it back to committee. Motion and second on the bill. No one in the queue. Open the ballot. Record your vote.
6 yeas, 0 nays.
By your action, you've approved 2026-0028. Item number 21, 2026-0029. Council members, please declare any ex parte communication you have at this time. Seeing none, let's open the public hearing and get a staff report.
2026-29 is the companion waiver of road frontage that seeks to reduce the required minimum road frontage from 160 feet to 0 feet to allow for the development of 2 single-family dwellings. Per Part 4 of the zoning code, no dwelling or dwellings may be constructed on a lot in a residential zoning district unless the lot has frontage on a public or approved private street equal to not less than 80% of the minimum lot width. The subject site is a 6.06 acre lot located approximately 435 feet west of Utsi Road, a public right-of-way. A 60-foot wide access easement has been granted to the subject site through RE number 0029550200 that connects directly to Utsi Road. This access easement meets the minimum width required for emergency services to access the site. Staff finds the request consistent with the comprehensive plan and compatible with the surrounding area of single-family dwellings, and therefore forwards a recommendation of approval.
Okay, thank you so much. We have one speaker card. Deshauna Bennett, questions only. No one in the queue. Let's close the public hearing and bring it back to committee. Motion to second on the bill. No one in the queue. Let's open the ballot. Record your vote.
Six yeas, 0 nays.
By your action, you've approved 2026-0029. Ms. Bennett, thank you for bringing us the easiest one tonight. We appreciate it. Yeah, it's a triple. All right, 2026-0058 is deferred. Item 2026-0059 is deferred. Item 24, 2026-0060 is deferred. Item number 25, 2026-0061. Council members, please declare any ex parte communication you have at this time. Seeing none, let's open the public hearing and get a staff report.
Thank you. This is zoning exception ordinance 2026-0061, which is seeking to allow for the retail sales and service of all alcoholic beverages for off-premises consumption only for property that is zoned CCG1. The subject parcel is located on the south side of Atlantic Boulevard, which is classified as an FDOT principal arterial roadway and is just west of the Hart Expressway. The property is currently developed with a convenience store, which currently sells beer and wine, but wants to expand the retail sales to all alcohol for off-premises consumption only. Per the submitted liquor distance survey, there are currently no churches or schools within the required distance limitations of Part 8. The proposed use is compatible with adjacent commercial uses and consistent with the general character of the area. Again, the subject property is an existing convenience store that has been established in a mix of uses for the surrounding area, which includes office, commercial, and residential uses located along a major commercial corridor. So because of these reasons and those in the staff report, we forward a recommendation of approval.
All right, thank you. One speaker card, Zach Miller.
Good evening again, Zach Miller, 3203 Old Barn Court. Just to add to the staff analysis, it looks from the aerial that there's a bunch of residences. Most of those residences have actually been converted to offices, law offices, CPAs, doctors' offices nearby. So there's not a lot of residents in the area. There is some apartment complexes. I actually used to go to high school down the street from here. This has been here, I think, for 40 years, selling beer and wine. The addition is just to add alcohol consumption for off-premises.
All right. One question, Councilmember Diamond. You're up.
Thank you. Through the chair to Mr. Miller, considering you were under the age of 21, I assume when you were in high school, I'm sure you didn't, were like a 6th or 7th year senior. You never went to this establishment, did you, as a attendee of said high school?
Through the chair to Councilman Diamond, as you know that the underage drinking has a statute of limitations of 2 years, and you're well aware of that. That has long since passed. So I will say that I went inside, but I never purchased anything. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Met his match. I'm curious what Paul's answer would have been at that point. But
I think this was open when Paul was actually in high school as well.
Yeah. I think you're right. I said Paul's got a good long game. He played this long game.
Yeah.
All right, we'll close the public hearing and bring it back to committee. So we have a second. Motion and a second on the bill. No discussion. Open the ballot. Record your vote.
Six yeas, 0 nays.
By your action, you've approved 2026-0061. All right, that brings us to the second readings. Items 2026-0083, 0084, 0085, 86, 87, 88, 89, 91, and 107 are all on second reading. And Councilmember Arias, you are recognized for announcement.
Thank you, Chair. Very quick, I brought this up during finance. I have a bill going through, it already went through committee this week, it already passed. It's going to come up to council next Tuesday, the 3 a.m. bill. Some of the council members I see here today were not in those committees, so if you have any questions, please reach out to my office, and I'll set up a public notice meeting. If not, then it's going to proceed on Tuesday. I bring this up because I will not be here on Tuesday. So if there's any questions or issues, I'll hold a public notice meeting on Monday. All right, thank you.
All right. With that, this meeting is adjourned.